All right, it's time for an exercise that I don't do this exercise in class because very luckily in class we do a 360 feedback evaluation, which takes 5 weeks and costs some money. And I actually am also, in my quest to become Steve Jobs, inventing a tool where everybody has access to 360 evaluation very inexpensively. Yeah, I'm doing that. It's wackadoodle. But whatever, that's down the road. But I have a little tiny hack because here's the thing. You need to know how the world experiences you. And here's why you need to know that. Your personality is not the list of words you would use to describe yourself. Or maybe it is. I mean, if you're very, very self-aware, if you're a very self-aware, mature person, you know how the world experiences you. But sometimes you're 60 years old when that finally all comes together. Most of the time, we think, we give ourselves a big pat in the back and we say things like, I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm a good listener, I'm a good friend, all these things. And we don't have anybody who's telling us right to our face whether or not that's true. Now, then we get married and somebody tells us right to our face, or we have honest friends, but usually our friends are very encouraging. That's why we have them as friends. And so the 360 feedback tool, which you get in a corporate setting when you've been around and you're working at a big enough company, they go out to 20 people who work all around you, above you, below you, beside you, all these other things, and they give anonymous feedback, and you find out for the first time in your life, often in a very shocking event, how the world actually experiences you on 13 different dimensions. We do that in class. My students go through that, okay? And it's a good day for some people and a not so good day for other people as they find out for the first time how the world really experiences them. It's really important to do Becoming You as a process that you know how the world experiences you, because if there are certain things you need to learn and you're thinking about a certain kind of work, you need to know how the world experiences you. So for instance, to use my favorite example of a nurse, I mean, if the world experiences you as just, too candid, too abrupt, no bedside manner kind of stuff, don't be a nurse, okay? And you may be, though, inside your head saying, I know how to deliver hard messages. I am very empathetic. And the world is not experiencing you that way. You're just experiencing yourself that way. Okay? The gap between what we think we are and what the world experiences us at is one of the most biggest danger zone that exists. And it's probably the reason for more friendships ending and more marriages ending and conflict at work. I mean, I had a student one time who couldn't get promoted. And she complained to me, I can't get promoted. And I said, well, what are they telling you about why you can't get promoted? She was a fantastic performer. Her numbers were unbelievable, okay? Clients loved her. And she said, they say I'm rude. They say I'm blunt. And I said, are you? And she said, no, I'm just honest. They all have thin skin. Then we got her 360 back. And guess what? Everyone said about her. She was rude and she was blunt. And I said to her, which is it? Is it what you say you are or what everyone else says you are? To which she replied, in my heart famously replied, you're blowing my mind, okay? And we tried an experiment where she started to treat her coworkers the way she treated her clients, and she got her promotion. She did, okay? So I think we have to understand how the world... So here's the hack. It's very hard to do this hack, but there's two different ways to do it. One is that you ask everybody to anonymously tell you the first word that comes to their mind when they see your name pop up on their phone. All right. And you want to be kind of anonymous because they're going to game it otherwise. And so you have to figure out a way to do this. Do you just have them write it on a piece of paper and put it in a hat and then you get 20 of them and you look at it? Or you can just ask them, like, when you see my name pop up on your phone, what's the first 3 words that come to mind? All right. And I actually did this and I got a lot of beautiful responses, loving, caring, helping. I asked a lot of people, but one person wrote down machine. And this is a person who works for me. And I get it. I am a machine. I push people so hard. I push myself harder than anybody. I don't ever rest. And I was very, I don't want to say humbled, but I was very informed by that feedback. And it really informed me as I went forward saying, okay, I think when I come on to people, I often come on as a machine. I need to know that, because I'm not going to sit here and say to myself, I'm a machine. What I'm saying to myself is, I'm incredibly hardworking. I'm super efficient. I never let up. And I'm not using the word machine, but that's how I'm experienced, okay? And so this is a hack to ask enough people that it matters and ask them to be honest to give you the first 2, 3, 4 words that come to their mind when they see your name pop up on their phone. If you can get this anonymously, it's even better because people will be more honest. And only you know if you have a way of doing that. Or you can wait for my tool to come out. Or don't do that. Do this thing, this hack. Give it a try. But even if you don't, and I hope you do, I do want you to ponder, if you would, this gap between the words we use to describe ourselves and how the world experiences us. And I wonder if you were to write up that list of 5 or 6 adjectives that you use to describe yourself, and you showed it around to people who you trusted and you trusted to be honest with you, and you said to them, are there any words you would take off this list? Or is there any word you might add to this list? And that's just another way of getting at it. This requires hard work on your part. This requires a certain kind of deliberate investigation into self that's not normal. It's not how we usually go about life. Do I think it's worth it? So worth it. So I highly recommend you try some version of this. And you have to give people complete amnesty beforehand, saying, I'm doing this in the spirit of growth and self-awareness, and nothing you say will be used against you in a court of law. And don't be mad at them if they tell you hard news. Love them more if they tell you something you didn't want to hear. Thank them and appreciate it. Otherwise, then you're not being trustworthy, okay? If you ask people for honest feedback and then they give it to you, you got to thank them, not punish them. This is a public service reminder.